This is a presentation of BSRN, Box Studios Radio Network. The Power Play Post Show is on the air, covering minor league hockey since 2003, and now covering the Binghamton Black Bears with news, reactions, and in-depth interviews only heard here. And now from the Box Studios in Kirkwood, New York, here is your host of the Power Play Post Show, Bob Howard.
And hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Power Play Post Show. This is the show for October 13th, 2024. This is season 14, episode number 11, and this is episode number 450 in the long-running podcast that is the Power Play Post Show. Hello, everyone. I am Bob Howard. Welcome to another edition. We're back to Sundays, doing the podcast here on Sundays as we just experienced two games in the start of the season for the Binghamton Black Bears. Both of those games, of course, against the Watertown Wolves, as most of you know. The Black Bears and the Wolves split the two games, winning both on the road. So the Black Bears winning up in Watertown and then Watertown winning down here in Binghamton. Obviously, the big part of this weekend was the raising of the championship banner. And obviously, they did such a good job. Eddie Bello and Illuminations did such a great job setting up what was really a very simplistic but very beautifully done raising of the championship banner. So that's done. We can get past that now, right? The championship was last year. Now that was the last kind of element to the whole thing of winning a championship. Players get the rings, fans get the banner ceremony, and that has been completed. So now we got to start looking at this season and repeating, going back and winning another championship. Or just having a very good season, and that's a very difficult thing to do. I think in any league to repeat, it's very hard to do. It's why it's not done that often. Players move, things change, and even though there were 15, 16 guys that came back from last year, the team is different, and that's just going to be normal for any organization. You don't have Connor Smith on the team anymore. Andrew Logar is not there, and he was a big part of that team's championship last year, along with Connor Smith. So, there's those type of things that kind of, happen. But the championship banner ceremony was beautiful. They got their first win in the first game of the season. That's obviously very important. There are things to work on. I think everybody realizes that. I don't think anybody is going to shy away and say, hey, listen, this team didn't play perfect hockey this weekend. And that's okay. It happens. Without a doubt, they're still going to be a very good team. There are things to work out. Maybe line combinations can change. Maybe just, working out how to, get the systems in place. And then getting the full effort of everybody to execute properly. That is a very difficult part of all this, right? Players can know the systems. Players can try to run the systems. But if they're not able to execute, then things have to change. And that's just normal. That's hockey. That's sports. That's athletics. That's how it works. So let's get into this. The Power Play Post Show is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on whichever platform you listen to your podcast, and please subscribe. Please join the Power Play Post Show Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search the Power Play Post Show. Check out BinghamtonHockey.net for all your Binghamton hockey information and curiosity. And on this edition of the Power Play Post Show, we recorded this interview on Media Day, but we wanted to hold it over for today to give you guys something kind of nice to listen to from the Binghamton Black Bears goaltender, Connor McAnanama. So remember, that was recorded before then. All right, so the Black Bears split the weekend with the Watertown Wolves. In Friday night's game in Watertown, the Black Bears win the game 3-2. This was a close game. Starting off, the scoring was Watertown. Seemed to be a kind of like a storyline for the weekend. At the 3:51 mark, Chase DeBrari took a pass from Teet Leeson and then put it behind Connor McAnanama to take the Watertown Wolves and put them up by 1. So early in the first period of that first game, Watertown gets on the score sheet first. Now, this is not unnormal for Binghamton in Watertown. Watertown likes to score first against the Binghamton Black Bears up in their arena. It's a smaller sheet of ice. It's a little bit narrower, so I think Binghamton has to get used to it when they get up there. When they play and practice in Binghamton, they get used to that open ice. It's a little bit bigger than, obviously, the Watertown Municipal Arena's ice sheet. And so they have to get used to it a little bit. And I think Watertown pounces on teams and gets up early. Now, at the 17:44 mark, Gavin Yates gets on the score sheet. He ties it up. Blake Tosto and Kyle Stefan get the assist on that. That makes it a 1-1 game after the first period. And you're thinking, okay, this is about right, and what you expect and what you usually do get from the Black Bears is then in the second or the third period, you get a scoring outburst. They didn't get a scoring outburst, so to speak, but they did get a couple goals in the second period. In the second period, at the 1:01 mark, Kyle Stefan gets an even strength goal. Donald Oliveri and Gavin Yates on the assist with that. So at this point already, you have your second line of Kyle Stefan and Blake Tosto and Gavin Yates already have 2 goals and 3 assists between the 3 of them. Then on the power play at the 13:04 mark, Kyle Stefan again scores with the assists from Cameron Clark and Jesse Anderson. I believe this was the second power play unit. And it just seemed like the second line, the second power play unit, seemed to have the best chances. They made the best of their opportunities in this game. That put the game at 3-1 Black Bears. And just before the end of the period, a goal that I think everybody would love to get back on the Black Bears, Tate Leeson scores with 5 seconds left to go in the second period, and it's a 3-2 game. Now, what's not usually normal in Black Bears games or even just in the Fed is that you go a full 20 minutes without somebody scoring. But that's what happened in this game, and the third period went scoreless, and obviously there was a lot of shots on goal in this game. I believe 35 for both teams, which means that the netminders really both played very well. And Connor McAnanama, being the visiting goalie, he had 35 shot attempts and 33 saves for the win. Jacob Komet had 35 shot attempts as well with 32 saves. I thought they both played really well, and I believe they were both stars of the game in my opinion. Even though, but either way, Connor McAnanama played well, I thought, in that game. Controlled the rebounds pretty well. So he did what he had to do in this game. Kyle Stefan had 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. Gavin Yates had a goal and assist for 2 points. Donald Oliveri had an assist, and so did Blake Tosto, Cameron Clark, and Jesse Anderson. So I think everybody would have loved to have seen a lot more goals scored in that first game, but it's a win. And you walk out of that arena, which you last year lost 3 games, in that arena. I think they played 6 times up there, and they were 3-3. So to walk out of there in the first night where you've only been in camp for 10, maybe 12 days, whatever it might have been, maybe had about 13, 14 practices, right? Because you had a few days that were 2-a-days. I think you're satisfied with that. You're maybe not happy with everything that happened in that game. Maybe some opportunities that were missed, maybe a couple of mistakes that, were made. But it didn't hurt you too much that you didn't walk out with the 3 points. So that leads you to Saturday's game. And Saturday night, the Black Bears lose the home opener to the Wolves 5-3. And I think this game just played a little bit differently than the night before. Again, the Black Bears give up the lead in the first period to the Watertown Wolves on a power play where Cameron Clark, I believe, was in the box for a 4-minute double minor for high sticking. Blacksmith, he scores a power play goal at the 15:23 mark. Now, I believe that was in the first part of the double minor. So that comes off, and you go to the second double minor. And the Black Bears got a shorthanded goal from Blake Tosto. So he gets his first goal of this season, and he was assisted by Kyle Steffen. And now you have, again, a one-goal game at the end of the first. And as usually, what I am thinking is okay, the Black Bears are going to come out and they're going to explode with some firepower because this is the home opener. And last year they won 25 of their 28 games at home. So you're just expecting automatically that this is just a given. They're going to come out and they're going to score. That wasn't the case here tonight or last night. They 1:30 into the second period, Ross Bartlett gets a goal. And all of a sudden now the Watertown Wolves, they have momentum, but the shots on goal was so disparaged. It was so different. Black Bears had 44 shots on goal, and the Wolves barely had 20, in this whole game. They made the best of their opportunities, the Wolves did. And I do believe that the Black Bears probably had more of the puck possession, but maybe not the puck control. And there is kind of like a difference there. Puck possession means you have the puck, but they could never keep it for long enough time. And when they did have the puck and they were able to pass it and whatnot, the Wolves still just got in the way. So after that 1:30 score, it was only 51 seconds later, and Kyle Heinzinger scores the third goal for the Wolves. And now you're looking at a 3-1 game, and you're only 22 minutes into this game. And you're thinking, oh boy, this is a little bit different. But Donald Oliveri, after a delayed penalty, extra attacker comes out, he scores and makes it 3-2. And again, you kind of get sucked into this feeling like, okay, the Black Bears not capitalizing on a lot of opportunities, but maybe just enough to stay in it. All right. But in the second period as well, 13:26 mark, Blacksmith gets his second goal of the game, also on the power play. And now this game is 4-2. And then you're not feeling like the Black Bears are in this game. Tyson Kirkby in the third period. This is 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes into the third period. There's a power play for the Black Bears. He gets a goal. And again, you're back at 4-3. So it's a one-goal game. The Black Bears never seem to be completely out of it, but they never seem to be completely into this game for some reason. And then with 5 seconds left to go in the third, Michael Mercurio, he scores an empty netter as they pulled Connor McAnanama to try to get that extra attacker and go in there and try to tie this game up, which obviously didn't happen. And I read a lot of the comments that people made about this game. And, I get it. I understand. Some people said it looked sloppy compared to the night before. Some people said the goalie did his job and then some. Their defense held it together. Blacksmith seemed to be open a little bit more. Some people thought they fell out of sync with the new lines, and they'll eventually click. Another comment was very rusty. They need some oil, which I thought was funny. Someone said they were a stride behind all game. Now, again, when you have 44 shots on goal, I think it's very hard to say that there wasn't puck possession and that the Black Bears didn't have the puck. They just didn't make a lot of their opportunities, and that's very hard. Sloppy puck control, and it seemed like a little bit lack of speed seemed to be the issue. So those are the comments. That's what the fans were seeing, and I'm sure Coach Sherwood saw this as well while he was on the bench. I'm sure Coach Sherwood will see it in the video, and he'll bring it up. He may need to make a change or two when it comes to the lines. He's got decisions to make. He's got to get down to a 19-man roster here unless he uses a 4-game PTO, which he clearly can do. He's in the net of 2 games because he hasn't used the 4-game PTOs yet. And basically, if you use all of your 14-game PTOs one at a time, it's 56 games. So, with that being said, he's already a net positive with that. It was an interesting game, in my opinion. And I saw what a lot of the fans saw as well. This seemed to just be sloppy. There were some mistakes made by players on the ice. And I think that can all get cleaned up. So, thoughts on the 2 games. The Black Bears did enough to win on Friday night, but regressed a little on Saturday night. And I think that's fair to say. Someone said they looked out of sync. Maybe they were. I don't disagree with that. There was a little bit of when they went to go past the puck sometimes. And again, I think they owned the puck possession and they had a lot of shots. But at the same time, their puck control wasn't all that great. The true rookies seemed to be playing all out. I think they were really trying for the jobs. And we saw Nick Poirier, fight. Like Tosto had a fight in the second game. So the new guys were definitely trying to push the older guys. That is for sure. The line combos can be tweaked to help balance them out more. And what I mean by that, one of the things that I saw compared to last year, when Gavin Yates was on the line with Tyson Kirkby, and you can mix in different people like Donald Oliveri or Austin Thompson on the right side, that line seemed to have a little bit more fluidity and speed and really flow. In the 2 games that I've seen so far, the Tyson Kirkby line doesn't seem to have enough speed in the game. I don't know if it's that the 3 players are too much alike on the ice, the way they skate and they need that Gavin Yates type of skater on the ice, but we'll see. It's only the first 2 games. Be calm and let Brant Sherwood figure out the systems, getting the players to execute them. Someone made also the comment online that the player or that last year we didn't look good in the first weekend, maybe not even the first 4 games. So that's a possibility as well. So let's let Brant Sherwood figure it out. He will. There were mistakes in both games, and then players would likely like some of those plays back. And it's simple. Listen, hey, you walked out of the weekend. You got 3 points. You got to win. You got the first win of the season. That's the most important thing. It's not like you're 0-2. It's not like people are scratching their heads saying what's going on. No, it's just a little bit of we got to figure this out. Remember, back in May and April, this team was playing its best hockey. It's not May and April right now. Okay? So we just got to give it a little time. The banner raising ceremony was very well done. Eddie Bello and his team did a great job. It was spectacular and simple at the same time, yet felt right. Felt like it was done just right. Being on the ice for both the 2011 and 2024 banner raising ceremonies was very special to me. I got to take some pictures and just be down there and really kind of feel what everybody was feeling on the ice, and just so well done. Being a fan of Binghamton hockey for as long as I have, watching it and covering it now for close to 20 years, great moment. Very well done. I think the whole staff and everybody who was involved in planning that and getting it done. I thought the Empire Division Championship banner looks great. Everything just fits perfectly. They did such a good job getting everything to look the way it should. It was just really well done. So next week, the Black Bears will play the Hudson Valley Venom on Friday night at home, and then at the Venom's rink on Saturday. Josh Newberg is the coach of the Venom and was a former Binghamton Black Bear. You should all remember him. In the first season, I said he should have been the captain of the team. He is a leader, definitely, for sure. He is coaching for the first time in the FPHL, but is not unfamiliar with teaching other players. And he works with a lot of young kids, teaching them how to play the game. He's a great face-off guy. And he is the head coach for them. But he's actually going to be playing on the ice, if I remember correctly. And I think MJ Merkel, former Binghamton Black Bear, and Elmira Mammoth, and Elmira whatever they were last year. I can't remember right now. River Shark. Yeah, they were River Sharks. Even though we still have a team out there looking for the Sharks in the river, in the Susquehanna or the Shenango, and so far they've not found any. I think it's like a cryptid type thing. But we will preview this upcoming weekend series against the Venom on Thursday. So look for that. That'll be on Thursday's podcast. I have to say the weekend was still great. No matter what, the hockey has returned. The Black Bears are back on the ice. I think things will get worked out. I think the play will get better. I think a few more practices and this team will get things going. Listen, we're not talking about the power play, which is kind of nice, right? They've scored on the power play already, so there's no talking about that. Blake Tosto had the first shorthanded goal. We're not going to talk about that. So that's okay. I think Donald Oliveira's already got a goal. So, this is a guy who hasn't been on the ice in how long? And yet he turns around and he still scores. That's pretty impressive. It was a fun weekend. It was a great weekend. For me personally, it was my birthday. Shout out to Katie Miguel for getting me a birthday card. Shout out to everybody who came up and just wished me a happy birthday. It was great. I want to tell you guys one small story. I was downstairs, and I know some of you guys saw the pictures that I took of Ben when he got his ring. While I was down in that corner of that, some of the players will come from underneath and kind of walk towards the locker room. There's exercise, and there's different things for guys to do. They can go play soccer. There's some open area underneath the stands. It's not available for the fans to go to, so please do not try to do that. I'm just kind of trying to explain to you. And Donald walks through, and he wishes me a happy birthday. he sees me, he says, "Hey, Bob, happy birthday." And, I thanked him, and it felt good. Thank you, Don, for, thinking about me like that. I really do appreciate it. He texted me in the morning before the day was even starting, and he was one of the first people to wish me a happy birthday. I love having that special relationship with some of the players. It's great. LA, who's over in Germany, and I don't know if I'm going to be charged for the text back. He wished me a happy birthday. It was a great day. All the fans, everybody that came up, E. Thrasher, you know who you are. Thank you for coming up and just smiling and wishing me a happy birthday. All the people who got stickers. I still have more stickers, so if you guys want stickers, let me know. I had a great time talking with Stephen McAnanama and, of course, Rick Weber, who is Dan Weber's father. Great conversations with those two men. Of course, I saw Gary Ryan from the Fed League Fash. He was up. We were kibissing and talking the whole time. He helped do a little bit of a video of the banner raising for me with one of my cameras. I got to check that out and see how that turned out. And it was just a great weekend for my birthday, for just having hockey back. And I appreciate, again, thank you very much to everybody. The Binghamton Black Bears announced it during the birthday wishes. So thank you to the staff at the arena to, wishing me a happy birthday. To have my birthday and be able to spend it at the rink is great. Yes, do I wish they would have won? Absolutely, 100%. But that's hockey. Those are the hockey gods. The hockey gods sometimes, and that's the other thing I wrote about in my day after game report that I just want to mention real quick. The hockey gods, when they know that there's something special going on, man, they sometimes will play spoilers and they'll side on that other team. And don't try to convince me that the hockey gods aren't real and that superstitions like that aren't real. Listen, the Watertown Wolves improved their play, and they came out and they played spoiler, and they did that. They took the win away from everybody, but the Black Bears still raised a banner, and that's a pretty cool thing. So, hey, listen, coming up next year on the Power Play Post Show is Connor McAnanama. Great little piece that we did at the arena during Media Day, just separate, me and him off to the side in the stands, and he got a kind of a different view of the rink from where we were sitting, and he seemed to enjoy that. So enjoy this interview. It's not going to pertain to anything about the last two games, but just getting a little bit more in depth with Connor. So I hope you guys enjoy that. We'll be back on Thursday, which is pretty cool, but I'll be back just to wrap this all up right after this interview with Connor McAnanama. We'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show.
Hi, this is Don Biggs from the 92-93 Binghamton Rangers. Hi, this is Brandon Buczynski.
This is Grady Wittenberg, the voice of the Binghamton Senators, and you're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Here is another Power Play Post Show interview exclusive with Bob Howard.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. I am sitting here in the arena. Perspective you've probably not seen before here in the corner by the handicap section and everything of the arena. But I'm here with Connor McAnanama. Connor, first of all, welcome back to the show. It's great to talk to you and everything. Let's talk a little bit about your summer. How was the summer? Especially after winning a championship, it's a little bit shorter of a year for you. We talked even just 2 years ago. You didn't play for a little bit, and you coached and everything. So, talk a little bit about this summer and how it's been for you.
Yeah. So first off, I don't mind the view up here. Seats are pretty comfy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously the off season was a little shorter this year. Mm-hmm. But it was nice though, because I knew I was playing hockey. I knew what I had to do to kind of be ready, make sure that I was good to go for training camp, and not coming into training camp using it to train. Yeah. Coming in with all the training from the summer, working out, skating. I was working out in tobacco fields this summer, so getting a little bit of farm boy strength going there.
Really?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
So what did you do in the fields?
Oh, so I did it all in the morning. We go out there, cut it down, wait for it to wilt a little bit, and then bring up the tractors, pin them on the slasks. And then
is this in Massachusetts? They have tobacco fields in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm learning stuff already right now that I didn't know about. So, and you did that how many hours a day?
Probably about you went from anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. It all kind of depended on the weather, sun, that kind of thing, overcast. So
is this something you've done in the past?
I did it probably when I was 19 as well. Mm-hmm. So it's the family that owns the farm that I do it through. I played U18 with the Springfield Picks with them, and then I've kind of stayed in contact with their family and that kind of thing.
Was this more about making money or being a part of your workout regimen as well?
I mean, obviously, I needed the money, but anytime you can help out an old friend or a family with anything, I'm more than welcome to do it. And obviously, at the end of the day, it's a great workout as well. Yeah. And you're out in the sun all day, nice weather, so. You
don't look as tan as I thought you would be being out in the sun.
I lost it.
Okay. Already?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I was pretty tan. I had a good farmer's tan going, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot of sunlight in the rink, so it goes away pretty quick.
And then what about the training at the rink? How much did you get to the rink? You've heard some of the interviews I've done with already some of the guys, and they talked about getting to the rink as much as they could, but not too much. How do you balance that for you in the off season?
I mean, just I play a lot of men's league in the summer, that kind of thing.
Which I know some of it we can't talk about because of the people that you got to play with, right? I know there was some NHL guys that you've been on the ice with in the off season.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Well, we just can't say who.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to or what the deal is with that. You made me a little nervous on that.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous now too.
But yeah, just some skill skates with those guys.
Which is important, right?
Yeah, obviously.
It really does gauge your abilities and your skill set when you're going up against a guy who's playing in the AHL, ECHL, NHL as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to obviously. I kind of use it more for like endurance training and stuff.
Sure.
Obviously, like playing against those guys, like they're phenomenal hockey players, and they're going posting in every shot if you miss the puck. So it's just it's good to get back on the ice, and they're so fast that it's tough to keep up with. But once you you get back in the swing of things, gauge the speed, that kind of thing. You kind of realize that, like, oh, I do remember how to play goalie, and that I can. I eventually, like, I plan on playing at a higher level, and I like to gauge how well I'm playing at the time with those skill skates, even though they make it a little tough on me.
When did you know? Oh, there's Tucker. You can hear Tucker in the background. When did you know you were going to re-sign with the Black Bears? How quick of a decision was that?
It was pretty right away. I think me and Coach talked about it before I left the area to go home. I appreciated everything that they've done for me, whether it was giving me just a shot to come out, everything that Coach has done for me, all the fans and everything. This place is my full loyalty. I don't really, as of right now, I don't really want to really be anywhere else. Going from not playing to winning a semi-pro championship is kind of a crazy turn of events, and I can't thank everyone here and with the upper management and all that kind of stuff enough.
You obviously come from just outside of Springfield, and Springfield, long history with the American Hockey League. I believe the team there even just re-upped until like 2030. That's how ingrained the AHL is in Springfield. Your father took you to games in Springfield. This rink was built to play in a league like that. How does it make you feel to be able to add to the history here at this rink? You guys on Saturday night raised a banner up into the rafters. For you, being someone who was around the AHL a little bit as a kid, how does it make you feel that you kind of did that in an old AHL rink, so to speak, raise a banner?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I guess I never really thought about it in that kind of way. Kind of putting your name in the history books, I guess, in that sort of aspect. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It's kind of tough to kind of wrap your head around, I guess, because you're still playing that kind of thing. I'm just here to play hockey, play the sport that I love, and if I can get some hardware in the process, I'm more than happy to do so.
You guys did get hardware last Monday. Presented with the ring. The ring seems bigger than some of the guys' fingers. I've seen some pictures and everything. How cool is it to have that ring?
Yeah, it's awesome. Everyone talks about it, like getting the ring and like that kind of thing. You kind of forget about it a little bit until
boom, there it is.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's on your hand and you're like, holy crap, like this thing's got some weight to it. They weren't kidding. So it was awesome to see. All the rings and all the boys getting them, especially because we have so many returners. Mm-hmm. It was definitely really cool, and watching the video that they put together from last year, just seeing all the special moments and all the guys from last year. It just brings back awesome memories.
Yeah, 16 guys re-signed, and if there wasn't an expansion draft, it could have been higher than that. What was camp like here, having so many returning guys? And we obviously talked to Dakota Bond, who last year was his first year, coming back and kind of feeling a little bit more like a veteran. What about yourself? Do you feel a little bit more like a veteran than you did maybe, just 365 days ago?
Yeah, kind of. I feel like it's more that I'm just used to being in this situation with around a lot of the guys. I feel like, being a goalie, in a way, you just kind of are in a leadership role, whether you like it or not, because you're the guy that's in net holding it down. Whether it's me or Sam, either way, like, if you're in net, like, you need to help out your team, like, you kind of are in a little bit of a leadership role there. I know it's obviously different from, having a C or an A on your jersey, but when everyone trusts you, and like your work ethic, everything, like, it's kind of like, it's tough to explain, I guess, because, like,
but you are a leader on the ice.
Yeah,
you really are at times, and you're one of the goaltenders that is so more calm and collective. Yeah, I know that off the ice, you're good for a joke or a laugh, or I walked through the locker room one day and you were yelling at Brooksy saying, "Who's that guy in here? What are you doing, Brooksy, bringing people through?" and everything. But is that part of your competitive fire, that when you get on the ice, it's calm, cool, collective, nothing's going to get kind of like you rattled?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of just like my motto, I guess, going into the games. It's like you just be calm, cool, and collected, because if your goalie's not freaking out, and you're not worried about how your goalie's doing, I feel like it's a lot easier for everybody in front of you to play. But yeah, you're out there playing hockey. I feel like I've heard every chirp in the book. I used to wear glasses under my mask, so I've been on the bad end of a lot of chirps. But
do you chirp out there? Because I don't see you talking that much. A little bit to your own defenseman. Maybe Tyson will come over and say something to you. But I don't see you. You probably don't chirp that much, do you?
No, there's no reason to, really. I mean, you're here to play hockey. It's not necessarily fully something that's like part of my game. I also don't really. It's not like I'm out there hitting people and that kind of thing. But it's. I mean, and there's always a time and place for everything, but my job is to stop pucks, and that's what I'm going to do.
You ended the season obviously on a high note, winning, I don't know, what was it, 13 in a row or something like that, 7 in the playoffs, 6 in the regular season, I think, in a row. Is there anything that you haven't done in your first year that you want to do this year? You've had a couple shutouts, so that's checked off the check mark. What is something that you want to accomplish this year?
I mean, realistically, like, it all comes down is just I want to win. That's what I'm here to do. That's what my job is, and that's really about it. I'm here to win games and win another championship.
So no individual goals. It's more about whatever I can do to help the team win.
We're all wearing the same jersey.
Awesome. Cool. Connor, thank you very much. Appreciate you talking to us again, and we'll be right back right after this, right here on the Power Play Post Show. Thank you.
If you're a Binghamton hockey fan, then you need to check out binghamtonhockey.net for all your news, stats, information, the Binghamton Hockey Hall of Fame, top 10 lists, profiles, and so much more. That's binghamtonhockey.net. You're listening to the Power Play Post Show.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Power Play Post Show. I hope that you're walking away from this podcast not thinking that, hey, the sky is falling, we lost a game at home, the guys seemed like they were out of sync a little bit. Because I don't think you should. I think you should walk away from this knowing that, hey, we got the first win of the season, we raised a banner. The guys still were in it throughout the game on Saturday, all right? They kept going back and getting to 1 goal down. So I think really what everybody needs to realize is, you know what? It's only 2 games in. It'll be fine. It's going to be okay. There's plans in place to make this team better, and they will do that. Coach Sherwood is probably, at this moment, even while I'm talking on Sunday evening, he's probably thinking of ways to make this team better. And he will get through to this team. They have a good leadership group. They have a great, talented, a bunch of players. And honestly, they still walked out of this weekend with 3 points, got the first win in the first game, and they did it in a very tough venue. So I think everything will be good. I think this upcoming weekend against Hudson Valley, I don't know if Hudson Valley is going to be a great team. I don't know. I'm not going to say that they're a bad team or a good team. I really don't know. We'll see what MJ Merkel and Josh Newberg come up with for this upcoming game. We'll talk a lot more about the Hudson Valley Venom on Thursday's broadcast. We'll have another interview as well. So it's all good. We're going to be okay. And you know what? Beautiful championship banner. Again, E.J. Worth did a great job. Eddie Bello did a great job getting it up there. And, we'll get through this. All right, so the Power Play Post Show is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Just search Power Play Post Show on whichever platform you listen to your podcast, and please subscribe. Please join the Power Play Post Show Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search the Power Play Post Show. Check out BinghamtonHockey.net for all your Binghamton hockey information and curiosity. Thank you to Rob Lapoulis, our MC, John Petitucci, our musical director, as well as from the Binghamton Black Bears, Connor McAnanama. Everyone, I am Bob Howard. We'll talk to you on Thursday. And thank you very much for listening to the Power Play Post Show.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Power Play Post Show. Be sure to tune in next week to the Box Studios Radio Network for all the latest Black Bears news and interviews from around minor league hockey. The Power Play Post Show would like to thank John Petitucci for all the music you hear on the show. You've been listening to the Power Play Post Show.